Jeff the Killer, one of the most recognizable figures in the dark and twisted world of creepypastas. Everything about Jeff is designed to horrify and torment, from his weapon of choice, his appearance, the manner in which he kills, and the tragedy which led to his rebirth as the monster we see today. He is a living weapon of fear, and this he wears openly with his name, Jeff the Killer, as despite all of the murderers in this world, he alone holds that title. But what is the reasoning behind his actions? His targets are random, but his method is always the same. It perhaps comes down to something simple. Why does he kill? Maybe because he can. Jeff has not been caught. He is seemingly able to commit his acts and disappear before finding his next target. However, it could be argued that he is perhaps trying to reinvent himself. It was only after seeing the mutilations on his face that Jeff finally snapped. He could no longer be his old self, and would instead embrace everything that his new appearance would allow. He could become that thing that's under your bed, or hiding in the shadows, the new boogeyman. Rationally speaking, the legend of Jeff the Killer could well be based on similar, if not the same, circumstances. After significant psychological anguish, Jeff suffers a physical trauma which results in him partially mutilating himself and then proceeds to murder his mother, father, and younger brother. This has since led to Jeff continuing his homicidal spree, which allegedly continues to this day. However, how is this possible? As to our knowledge, Jeff has no special training or surplus of funds which would help him to elude capture. After all, how does someone as physically distinct as Jeff the Killer maintain his solitude, while at the same time continue his killing spree? Is he using disguise and prosthetics? How does he travel seemingly undetected? How does one person do all this? And that is where we come to speculate. Is Jeff the Killer truly working alone? Theoretically, it is possible that Jeff would have admirers, some who delight in what he does and may be willing to help out. Perhaps there are some who wish to keep the legend alive. Furthermore, say Jeff did die under any number of circumstances. What's to stop these followers from simply taking on his appearance and continuing the work themselves? But why take up the mantle of Jeff the Killer? And how many could possibly be involved? One clear folkloric inspiration behind Jeff is the boogeyman, a figure seen in multiple forms around the world, a terrifying creature which crawls out of the darkness to torment those asleep in their beds. They wake from one nightmare into another, this harrowing being looming over them, leaving them confused, afraid, and completely unprotected. Additionally, another possible inspiration from folklore could be the vampire. Only appearing at night, when their victims are at the most vulnerable, a vampire often appears inhuman, a sign of both its otherworldly nature and power over its prey, as the superior predator. This creature is out for blood, and one way or another, it will take what it wants. Jeff the Killer embodies these creatures of folklore by the practice in which he takes life. Similar to the boogeyman, Jeff targets those who are already asleep. Upon waking in the night, they notice a silhouette standing in their room, eagerly staring at them as they rest. What's more, just as with vampires, Jeff is also out for blood. Lunging at his prey, and in all the shock and confusion, he quickly asserts his dominance over them. The last thing they ever see is his pale, gaunt skin, his cold, dark, unblinking eyes savoring every moment of their anguish, and his smile, his permanently joyful grin, baring his teeth in a maliciously carefree mutilation, his intentions written all over that monstrous face. Whether Jeff the Killer is truly a homicidal maniac bent on adding to his kill count and furthering his own legend, or the icon to a murderous cult bent on keeping Jeff the Killer in the shadows for as long as possible, one thing is certain. Lock your doors, nail your windows shut, and be ready for a long night. because Jeff the Killer is out there. So don't fall asleep.